Hola, amiga. Welcome to the Latina Leadership Podcast, a podcast by Latinas for all women. Get ready because today's conversation is really special.
Hola, and welcome to another episode of the Latina Leadership Podcast. I am your host, Anjelica Cazares, and on today's episode, it's going to be quite quick, but I have here, for those who don't recognize this gentleman here sitting next to me, this is going to sound really silly, but I'm going to do it anyway. I usually ask everybody the same question when I start every podcast. Okay. Who are you and what do you do?
Jose Roberto Pulido Jr. is my name. Also known as Bobby Pulido.
Okay.
For 30 years, have been a singer. Mm-hmm. And now I'm running for U.S. Congress in District 15.
You said Bobby Pulido, known as Bobby Pulido.
Yes.
Okay, so let's just get this out of the way. You're a singer. You started back in the 90s. You've had your career, yes, your trajectory. You've run your Grammys. You've done all those great things. You have songs that we all know and dance to still to this day and sing to, karaoke to. We still all have all of that happen, right? I read somewhere in the space that you actually studied.
I studied political science at...
Yeah.
I was very, very studious. I was in high school. I was a Texas Boy Stater, and I was what you called back then a nerd.
A nerd, okay.
Right. So it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. And I got an academic scholarship, went to St. Mary's University in San Antonio, studied political science, did not finish in my last year. Okay. I was 21 hours shy. I had recorded a song with my dad. My dad is Roberto Pulido, very well-known singer in his own right, a legend. And I recorded a song with him that had some success. And so then I was a broke college student. And then I started getting 2 record labels in a bidding war. And I decided to try out my luck in music. Yeah. And it went very well.
So when you talk about political science, what about the topic or the subject were you interested in? What part of it?
Just how it all works, you know.
Such as?
I think history and politics go hand in hand because you can learn a lot from history, and a lot of times it tends to repeat itself. And so, just the whole way the political system, since our inception, how it's evolved, and now where it's going, where it is right now, and where is it going in the future. You know, political heterodoxy is always changing. Yeah. So sometimes, you know, one party will be for something and then it shifts and it becomes the opposite. Yeah. And then this party used to be for this and now it's this. And so, you know, that's always fascinated me.
What is the difference between what your political career looks like, right? Because everybody wants to know, everybody wants answers, and everybody has questions to ask you.
I don't have a political career right now. I'm campaigning.
Okay.
So you can't have a political career till you win.
Okay. Yeah.
So look, in music, when I first started, I had to prove myself. Yeah. And in politics, it's the same.
It's the same. Good.
I have to prove myself.
Okay.
And in order to do that, you got to be willing to answer the questions.
Yeah.
Go speak to constituents. And my district covers it's comprised of 11 counties.
Yeah. So we're in the valley, for those who don't know. We're here down in the
Rio Grande Valley, yes.
Specifically in Edinburgh.
Yeah, but actually this district crosses I-10 between Houston and San Antonio. That's how far north it goes.
Is that where you're asking the votes from? Down that way? Even that way?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I have no idea.
Yeah, so this is Hidalgo County in the Rio Grande Valley, but there's 10 other counties in the district
that are part of the district.
That's correct. I'm not running just in the valley. It goes all the way to Welder in Gonzales County.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gonzales County?
Yep.
Is that San Antonio? Like towards San Antonio?
No, it's in between. It's closer to San Antonio, but it's on the way to Houston.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So what was it that you said, you know what, it's time for somebody else to run for office. It's time for, you know what, if I have
healthcare.
Okay. Talk to me about it.
We have a crisis with our healthcare system right now. Many people, like Texas is the least insured state in the country.
Okay.
I don't have health insurance. Oh. And it's the reason I don't have it is because it's so expensive that it's not worth it. Right now it's gotten to the point where it's a scam because it's actually cheaper.
That's a strong word.
It is.
Okay.
It is. I had a situation, a medical situation, where I went to a doctor without getting into details, but I went to a doctor and didn't have insurance, right? And I said, well, look, it's private pay. Like, okay. Well, it'll be $300 for the office visit. So I pay the $300, right? And see the doctor. The doctor says, we're going to need a test. I said, well, how much is a test? Well, they'll tell you up front, in reception. I went, okay. So I went up front and asked them, how much is the test? We'll call you. And I went, okay. So they called me the day before the test and asked me if I have insurance again. And I said, no, I told y'all I don't have insurance. And they said, there's a pause. And they said, there's going to be, it's going to be $10,000 for the test. And I said, well, then I guess I'm not getting the test. I said, if I got to go to Mexico to get it, I'll go get my health care in Mexico. And they said, well, you can pay us in payments. I said, no, I'm not paying $10,000 for a test, even if it's in payments. So I said, but here's what I want you to do. Go ask your superior or anybody that you have to how much I can pay in cash. And I will tell you if I can afford it or not. They called me back like 3 hours later and told me, we can do the test for $1,500. From $10,000
to $1,500.
to $1,500. And that moment I realized that this healthcare system is incredibly broken. And it's due in large part to insurance companies. They have too much power right now. And there's really a general theme that's happening throughout our country, historically, recently, that has really, it's a common general theme in every industry. Or not every, but a lot of them. Even in the music industry. Ticketmaster and Live Nation just lost.
Yeah.
A big lawsuit, antitrust lawsuit.
Yeah.
Everybody that's out there knows that ticket prices are outrageously expensive. It's not because of the artists.
It's because of that, yeah.
It's the middleman.
Yeah.
It's a corporation that goes, we're going to get in there and we need to find a way how we can make a bunch of money.
Absolutely.
Right? So and it hurts the consumer. Yeah.
So once you're in office, what possibly can you do to change that?
You have to, fight to strengthen antitrust laws.
Okay.
And fight those big corporations. Here's what happens. In 2010, there was a Supreme Court decision called Citizens United. That was the worst thing that could have happened to our political system in the United States.
Okay.
I've always been a Democrat, and Democrats always historically have fought for the little guy, right? Democrats historically we're going to fight for the little guy. In 2010, the Supreme Court decision of Citizens United, because Republicans fought against it, and it was a 5-4 decision, so it was really close, made a case that money in politics was free speech. Democrats were trying to get money out of politics. Because I think money in politics is corruption. So it has become a corrupt system that unfortunately the Democrats, in order to compete with Republicans, had to also go wheel and deal with corporate America.
Okay.
Right?
So, correct. All of that can take place in all of that. We can, right? History has a place, right? History and politics.
That's what I said, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah. Okay. But so what doesn't change. And there's this rhetoric, right? History will always repeat itself, right? That's what's said. So when you talk about these kind of policies, specifically to hold either yourself accountable or your constituents accountable, what specifically do you feel you will face, and where will you work hard to get there?
Well, I'm running for U.S. Congress, right?
Okay.
Which is one member out of 435 in Congress.
Yeah, we've seen them.
Right?
I watch them every night to try to see what it is that they're doing. Yeah.
So you obviously have a voice. You have proposals, but you're also fighting in a machine that each congressman has their own interests. So it's not easy.
Correct.
It's a jungle. It really is. But I don't have a fatalistic view of politics. I have a positive view. I feel that we should never just be accepting of well, you can't change anything. No, I dream big, and I think that we have to get in there and point out and call out the inequities that are happening right now, and I think that's the job. You got to go out there and fight.
Correct.
In that jungle, I think we have a corruption problem right now.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
I that's the bottom line.
Okay.
And we need to elect people that are not corrupt, that will go do what's right for the people. And the problem is there's a lot of money in politics. And that's when I speak about Citizens United, that's the problem. That's why we depend a lot on small donor money, right? Which you tell people, hey, donate $25 to the campaign.
Yeah.
Because then you have the power of the people.
Healthcare is a big topic for everybody because healthcare is always, because that's the way the United States is run. It's run through health insurance in general, right? Car insurance, house insurance. I mean, general insurance for your truck. I mean, that's just the way it's run, right? But when we talk about healthcare specifically, and not necessarily the corrupt agencies or whatever it may be, but where specifically do you feel like you lie in terms of healthcare? Do you want to straighten it for those who can afford it, or for those, or how will it shift?
Listen,
in a perfect world where Bobby lived and he ran it, what would it look like?
Yes, I think we need to take the power away from the health insurance companies.
Okay.
Right now, health insurance companies basically tell the doctors what they can and should do. It's no longer.
You're right.
It's no longer between you and your doctor.
It's between the insurance and them.
Yeah. And the insurance goes. The doctor says, "I think they need this medication." Nah, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about what that's doing to. We're like one of the least healthiest countries out there in the industrial world, right? We're the last one in the world that doesn't provide universal health care coverage for people. Because they get you with these deductibles. They'll tell you, okay, you're going to pay us, like in my case, they tried to sell me on this, right? You're going to pay, I don't know, $15,000 a year, right? $15,000 a year premiums.
Yeah.
But there's a $4,000 deductible for me, a $4,000 deductible for my wife, and a $4,000 deductible for my son that resets every year. They never lose. Understand, a health insurance company, they have one fiduciary responsibility.
Okay.
It's to their shareholders on the stock market.
Yeah.
So what they have to do is they have to show, we turned a profit, so give us more money. But they turn profits at the expense of denying coverage.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this, that I have health insurance myself, right? But there's sometimes that I'll walk into the office and be like, because I don't want to meet that deductible, and I'll be like, no, don't charge my insurance. Charge
but if you're on a file, they make you.
Yeah.
Listen, you say you have health insurance, right? If you go in there and say, no, don't charge it, I'll just pay private pay.
I'll pay out of pocket.
Yeah. But a lot of times what the insurance companies do is they make the doctor, they write the laws to where you cannot get the discount that I get. I get a discount because I don't have it. You're already in network and you've been flagged.
They're going to charge the insurance company $500, and then they're going to charge me like $250, half the price.
Right.
So like that, I don't have to reach my premium, or I don't have to reach that. And
you don't feel like you're getting scammed?
I feel like I don't understand the insurance world. That's what I feel like. And I feel like it's the dollars coming out of my pocket.
When the dollars are coming out of your pocket,
it hurts.
You're getting scammed.
So there's a difference. When, because this is where it hurts. And this is because in my audience, a lot of them are entrepreneurs, right? This is where it hurts, because a lot of sole entrepreneurs don't have health insurance.
Right. Hello. Right. Listen, my first wife was a teacher, so I had insurance for a little bit, or for a while when she was teaching.
Yeah.
And it was still not good.
Yeah.
But if you're not married to somebody that has a teacher that's pooled into one of those big pools, it's really bad. Yeah. It's really bad. It's really expensive. It's not worth it.
No, it's not. And then
and they hurt the small business guy. They're the entrepreneurs that say, "Hey, I'm a small business owner."
But and then some people who actually can afford not to have health insurance, and just because I even know somebody who doesn't have. He's in insurance. He owns an insurance company
and doesn't have insurance.
Hold on, he owns a car insurance company. But he doesn't pay for car insurance because he's well off enough to be able to pay out of pocket if something happens. So he can be held accountable to himself, right? But we're out here running around like even liability is difficult for people right now who cannot afford it.
It is.
And as you know, here in Edinburgh, and people cross to go and just pay for like
dental work,
simple test.
Yes.
And And I've seen a lot of people like flock as soon as they find out they have like cancer, immediately go to Mexico to get their treatments.
Yes.
Because they can't afford it or because it's difficult.
Think about
and they
this.
Give them the runaround.
We live in the richest country in the world. Mm-hmm. And we got to go to other countries for healthcare?
Yeah.
Here on the border?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that picture?
Yeah.
We should be ashamed of ourselves. In the richest country of the world? Mm-hmm. We can't take care of our own?
Well, Bobby, I got something to say with that because Congress is the one that's holding it, right? And that's what you're running for.
It's not just Congress. It's the Senate. It's the president.
Yeah.
Right? This is a machine. It's not. But if we elect enough people that care to fight the good fight, I believe we can change things.
Perfect.
You can't continue to squeeze people. And that's what's happening right now. The middle class is getting squeezed.
Mm-hmm. I have to say this. I think you're going to win the office. I think you're going to win the seat.
Well, we don't know yet, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
I think you are. When I come back in 2 years, Bobby.
Yeah.
And there's going to be those that are getting through and the votes are going to happen as you're in the seat. If I come back and have a conversation with you 2 years, do you feel like your still strongest topic is going to be healthcare? Or should I say, you know what, Bobby he held to his, and he said, this is what I ran on and this is what I'm going to stand on.
I don't have a crystal ball.
Okay.
I wish I could tell you that in 2 years we're going to fix it.
No, not fix it. But
no, I'll fight.
Okay.
I will definitely. I mean, that's my
hope. That's my hope.
That's the deal. Mm-hmm. We have to fight for this because people had enough. They've had enough, and we have not done our part. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it takes a village though, and it takes people to get involved. Okay. You know, voter participation is really low. A lot of people just don't vote. You have to get involved. Mm-hmm. You have to elect people that care, people that will tell you the truth.
Absolutely. Bueno, Bobby, in order to really be a successful interview with somebody who's running for the office, because this is an opportunity for me to have these kind of conversations, what would you like your constituents or the audience to know about you specifically when they go out and vote, they haven't voted, or if they're going to go out and vote, or they have the opportunity to vote for you? What would you like to tell them?
That I care.
Okay.
I care about my community. I care about my country. I care about my state. And I do understand that it's impossible, right? We obviously want to eliminate poverty. We want to eliminate everything. It's impossible to cover all your tracks. But we also have to do a good job to take care of a lot of the people that are trying their best to make it in the world. Mm-hmm. I think right now, nobody's talking to the middle class. Mm-hmm. Nobody's talking to the people that make $60,000 a year. Mm-hmm. And it feels like you have one party that caters to the poor, which is a good thing, right? Because they're underprivileged and we should never let them, down. But the other party caters to the really rich. Mm-hmm. And the middle class is having to slave their way through work just to make ends meet. Mm-hmm. And it's not right. There's a lot of things that happen where if you're below the threshold, if you say the threshold's $30,000 a year, if you make $29,500, you get a lot of government assistance. Mm-hmm. But if you make 32, you don't.
Yeah.
And so that should not be a cliff. It should be a slope, because there's people that are making $35,000, but they're working 2 jobs. Mm-hmm. They can't afford childcare. They're doing what everybody's told them to do, which is to work hard, and they can't make it. Yeah. We're failing them.
Mira, Bobby.
For me, my North Star, when I look at see who am I going to support, is do I feel that person will do what's right regardless of their party label?
Okay.
I think that's the important thing. Mm-hmm. Because like I said, the parties shift. The Democrats used to be known as the Dixiecrats. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Before 1965, the racists were in the Democratic Party. Mm-hmm. That's not the case anymore, I might add. But things
the rebels,
things change, right?
Yeah.
Things shift. Mm-hmm. What should not shift is our values.
Yeah.
They should not.
Honestly, I'd rather get taxed 40% of what my company makes, so like that everybody could afford some type of health care, right? That's my stance on it. I also believe in, but here's the thing though. I also believe in like woman autonomy, and I know there's like controversy like around that, but that's just me, right? That's me.
You have a right
but
for
even
that,
even
yes.
yes, right? Because that's
Of
the way
course.
I would like,
Of course.
right? So when we talk about like, you should stand for everybody in your values and what you believe or who you feel is going to do the right thing for your family, for generations to come, for generations to so on and so forth. What do you say to those who aren't registered to vote, but really do need to get out there and vote?
Well, first you got to register, get involved, educate yourself on the issues, because believe it or not, like it impacts your life. Who you vote for, and who's in your representatives and that you elect, even at the local level, I might add. Right? Doesn't matter if it's city council. It doesn't matter anything. It matters. Who you elect matters. And look, I think people generally have a good BS meter. I think you can tell when somebody's genuinely for you or not.
Yeah.
You know, and choose wisely.
Okay.
Choose wisely. That's the thing, right? I mean, right now this administration is not doing what they said they were going to do. They said no new wars. Boom, we go into Iran, right?
I have my own like thoughts on this whole administration.
There's so many things that we were promised. Like vote for me and I'll make sure that the prices go down. They didn't go down. We're only going to deport the bad people. That's not happening. It's a lot of good people too. And so there's a lot of things that people were told and were lied to. And it's okay. Listen, that's the one thing I'm going to say. I don't believe in shaming anybody. I don't believe in judging anybody on how you voted. It's a binary choice, and you vote for the best candidate that you feel best represents what you want.
Okay.
But it's also okay to say, that was a mistake. We all make mistakes. Right?
I have less
and I'm going to tell you.
I have less light word for
there's been times that I have voted for people that disappoint me. It's and do I shame myself? No. Like, right? It's okay. Let's just make it right. If we believe that right now this country is too polarized, and I do think it is, we're not helping the situation.
No.
Right? We're adding on to it. And yes, I've thought the same thing, but I still don't believe that if we were to turn the tables and I would have voted a certain way, what were you thinking? I don't want them to tell me that, right? At the end of the day, I think we also, you know what, we can go down that. I call route. My own side out when we mess up too, right?
Yeah, we can go down that.
Yeah, when we had President Biden says, "I'm only going to run for one term and then I'm out," and then he wants to run again, and then we see all those things. There's a reason. I mean.
Yeah, I'll say this. I'll say this. Even when Obama was in office, I still hit the streets when the whole immigration thing came about. Right, I was still down the streets, and I still voted. Right. I still voted Obama and Democrat, and I found myself in the streets. But you still
didn't like that part.
No, absolutely
Correct.
not. I did not. And we should all still stand on the personal beliefs that we truly believe.
Absolutely.
But there becomes a time where we really need to. I'm going to go back to what I was saying earlier, is whether you believe in civics or not, whether you believe in political careers or not, whether you believe it in or not, it's going to happen to you. You're going to be affected by the policies that are being implemented. So whether you vote or don't vote, it's going to happen to you. Right. So but if you vote, you might as well get out there.
But if you vote, you can make a difference.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I was talking to somebody here, not another candidate, but somebody who was actually in office. And she was talking about how only 2,000 people came out and voted in her district, in her area.
2,000?
2,000.
Wow.
And so people are winning within those 50 votes, 100 votes.
Oh, yeah.
In very local running sessions. Why? And then we turn around. A Democratic
candidate in another cycle for Congress actually won a primary runoff by under 100 votes.
Yeah.
Imagine that. by under 100 votes.
That's less than a block of people of age.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, does your vote count?
Yeah.
It does.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
It does. So again, whether you believe in civics or not, it's going to happen to you.
That's right.
Whether you believe in civics or not, and you said they needed the stop sign there, but they put a stop light. How dare they? Did you vote? No. Okay. What's up? Then you need to get out there. You need to register. You need to vote. So, Bobby, thank you so much for having a conversation with me.
Appreciate it.
Last words to those who are going to vote for you. What would you like to say, uninterrupted?
Well, get involved. Educate yourself. Go to Bobby Pulido for Texas. We have policy positions there. And, I appreciate your support. Truth of the matter is it's not easy running when you're used to being in a career where everybody likes you. And then you get a lot of a lot of hate, I can say, in politics. It's a different world, but it's worth it for me. It is worth it to go through all of this in order to help people. So I look forward to helping the people of District 15, but not just District 15, the people of the state of Texas and our country. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. Muchas gracias.